Hello everyone, I'm Lincoln and we're talking some Japanese plastic this week. This week we're taking a look at Microman Biomachine 01, Machine Mirror, and Xeku. Yeah, this is a bit of a blast from the past. These guys are about a decade old. I didn't even realize that. They came out around 2004. I'm not sure when I picked them up, but we were lucky enough to have a store called Anime Bento in town for a while. Some of you might know it used to be called Quakerhead. Quakerhead on South Street in Philadelphia moved to my town briefly when they left Philly and became Anime Bento for like a year or two, and I picked up a lot of neat stuff then, and then they kind of left. I think they're doing online distribution now. Anyway, it was great having them around at the time, because I picked up a bunch of neat little things, including the entire Biomachine set, and we'll take a look at that over the next few weeks. Where to start? Microman. The only Microman figures I own are this set and one other. I own this Kickin' Batman figure that they made, and I'll probably get to that at some point. But this is Machine Mirror and Xeku. Woo! Super shiny. Now, he looks dumb as heck on this thing, but that's just because I figured I'd start the review showing how he's posed on the back of the box. And he kind of looks just as bad there. I started him off there because, well, getting these hands in and out is a little tricky. I'm actually going to pop them out now. Actually, getting them out is easy. Getting them popped into the right spots is tough. I'll look at the Machine Mirror in a little bit. First, let's go over some Microman stuff. Let's hope to God these feet hold together. Cool, they look good. Oh, is that what's going on with this? I don't know, part of this feels loose or weird. Terribly interesting for everyone. Check out Xeku. Microman figures are super posable little guys. I believe they're 4-inch figures. Look at that. The knee articulation. We've got this. It's actually got the foot's on a ball joint, and there's an actual little swivel inside for the whole thing to move around on. Thigh swivel. Ball jointed hip waist action. Ball jointed torso. And then the upper half also. No, that's not moving. Oh, that is moving separately. You've got bend up in here. The shoulders are ball joints on ball joints. A little loose. These guys are not exactly fresh. Upper bicep swivel. Kicking double jointed. Well, it came off, but kicking double jointed little elbow. The hands are not articulated, but they rotate. Kind of. It's a little tricky because they're rubber. And they move back and forth. Head's on a crazy ball joint. And the Microman figures have been around for a while. These guys were released in 2004, and if I'm reading everything correctly, they redid the entire, they just redesigned the entire Microman structure for these figures. And they're really neat. This set I'm really happy I got. Because they've released some other stuff. They did a Batman line, and they're great figures, but if all they do is just stand there, I'm not really gonna buy them. I need toys that do a little more. I want something that transforms or has interchangeable armor, something like that. And the armor, actually, we'll talk about in a minute. I'm going to stand this guy up, but before I do that, it'll make my life a lot easier and show you something that the 2004 Micromans all came with a little stand. Micro-size action figure series. Microman since 1974. The series is older than I am. And they've got the little Vitruvian Man style Microman in the middle. And if you notice, there are two different sizes of pegs. The smaller pegs work on the 2004 and later Microman, who have these little guys. Hold on, I will plop that down. Oh, I'm missing it. Try to put it in the heel. It's closer to the middle of the foot. And now he will stand. But the that larger peg is there for the older Microman figures who have like a 5mm peg for at the bottom of their feet. Another thing you'll get with 2004 and later type of Microman, and I haven't opened these at all, is the standard rack of hands. We've got fists, we've got splayed open actiony hands, we've got gun holding hands. Just kind of very similar to the ones that are already on him, little cupped hands, and then karate chop action hands. Now, this hasn't been opened. I don't think I've opened them on any of them because I haven't posed these guys individually. They're always posed with their machines and with the other thing I'll show you later. Let me see. No, there's no extra things with this. I was trying to remember. One of the guys has a little extra with things. Before I show off the armor, I will actually pop him off of here. Take a look at Machine Mirror for a second. All of the 2004 or the Biomachine Micromen all come with a Biomachine, which is some sort of crazy vehicle. This is not, well, all the vehicles are kind of weird. If you can't tell from some of this, the vehicles do combine, and I will get to that in a few weeks. But look at all of this chrome. All of the machine vehicles, or all the Biomachines, are entirely just chromed out with these translucent bluishy purpley bits all about them. And this guy doesn't look too bad. I mean, I've seen vehicles like that. You could picture his original riding mode I showed you, where his feet are on these and his hands are back here. That doesn't look that great. But what you can do is we've got these little pegs on top. And you can pose him up and have him look a little more like he's... Stupid fist is not cooperating with me. And have him look a little bit more like he's surfing the thing. Maybe you'll put a slightly more dynamic twist on it. But I'm doing a review. I don't have time to sit here and fiddle and pose him. But that looks a little bit better. And while I was researching these guys a little bit ago, according to, what is it? Microforever.com, Microman fan site, these set of 4 guys are based on 4 of the characters in, what is it, Journey to the West? It's Chinese, is it? I was about to say Japanese. I believe it's Chinese. The story of a guy traveling to the West. I don't know enough, but I do recognize that this guy is technically supposed to be the character of the Monkey King, who I've heard about before. You might say, he doesn't look too Monkey King-ish. Well, that's true. He can get armored up, which I'll do in a quick moment. Give you another little shot of him. He's riding the thing. Holds on beautifully. You know, these are Microman quality toys, really. I'm really happy I picked up this set. Another thing is, apparently, these guys are the first... Oh, something fell off already. Some of the peg holes and such and pegs are not the tightest of things. But everything tends to just go back on and you're fine. But yeah, apparently these guys are all 4 of the guys in this little series were in were injured horribly in battle and were rebuilt with some robotic parts, which I guess is all of the, which is a lot, like these lower legs are obviously not organic. Those are robot legs. The chests and shoulders are kind of robotic. But that's the general story. So let me get him back on a stand. And you can armor this guy up. You do this by removing parts from here. Actually, these little guys on the sides of his cannon come off, technically speaking. There we go. This weird little thing on what is obviously going to be a robot head comes off. These don't need to come off quite so much, but I guess I'll pop this off now. So what we want is these little cannon ends. We'll put that back. Take these cannons. Well, get all of those parts off. And then on the underside, that little piece that fell off a little bit ago, we want those off of both. Machine mirror still looks okay. It's got the big cannon up front. Without these cannons here, like protruding, it doesn't quite seem balanced to me. Put him off to the side. Now let's armor up Xeku here. First I will take another quick look at the back of the box. Aha! I didn't pull enough stuff off. These other blue guys. So pretty much all of the clear blue from this, except for this thing here, comes off. So come down here, we have these looking pieces. And these go right on these ports on the knee. We've got like a nice little knee pad there, cut out for the foot. And even in this pose, it still goes on. I had to readjust it slightly. The armor hinders the feet a little bit, but that's not too big a deal. What should I do next? Next, this goes on the chest. Hold on a sec, that might actually go there. That looks a lot better. That goes on his chest. While I'm here, I may as well take these guys, peg into ports on his back when they're feeling... These are a little stiff, which I guess is good. It means they'll hold their pose and everything. Let's get those looking up a little bit. Then these guys go on his shoulder ports. This is getting tricky. The armor's starting to get in the way of itself. And this guy goes over here. He is not posed to look cool at all, but there's that. Then the four of these just kind of slot together and we'll make his staff. So hold on a sec, I'm going to pose him. So he at least looks kind of cool. Can be a little tricky with the way these, with all the posability, it's hard, sometimes it's hard for him to not fall out of poses. With so many joints, it's almost like there's points of failure at times. But I'm guessing when it wasn't so old, it was a little, I feel like he wasn't always this floppy. Alright, posing this guy is difficult as heck once the armor gets on. I want everything to stay, and the rubber on the wrists makes it really hard to rotate them the way you want to, and bits and bobs keep knocking each other off. Just kind of really annoying, and these shoulder armors keep getting into right in his face whenever there's a halfway decent pose happening, and this is not my favorite feature. If you can get him posed and stable and standing, he doesn't look too bad. I mean, usually they look great, but that's if you have the time to sit there and really pose him up. But The armor does look good on him. Got his feet armor. You can see how just tapping it, it's wobbling because the hand's all rubber. The armor actually does look good on him. Look at that. Look at that head sculpt. It's pretty nice. Looks pretty good from the back and all, but man, this guy's a lot trickier to pose once you've got all the armor bits on him. But overall, I like him. I think he's pretty good. And more importantly, I like the entire set. The four of them look really good together, and when all the biomachines combine, that made it completely worth it. And I was really surprised to find these for as cheap as I could. As you can see, I haven't bothered to remove it. I got this guy for $10, which blew my mind at the time. I couldn't believe that this guy was being sold for just $10. Usually anything like this, you see, comes from Japan. If I were to order it from a place, I figured it would have been at least $20. So that was awesome. I picked up the whole set right then and there. Got all four of them. And that as a whole is great. They're not bad Micromachine figures, not bad Microman figures. This guy in general is a little floppy, but that's just my version of him. Yours might not be as floppy. I don't know, because this is the first of them I'm reviewing. I don't know if they're also floppy. I do know one of them had his feet snap off pretty easily, and that was unfortunate. But thankfully, he doesn't really need it for the rest of his vehicle. It's a sit-down, righty kind of a thing. So, at least I can get some good poses out of him. But, going back to this guy. Microman Biomachine, machine mirror, and... let's do it this way. No, it doesn't look much better. Bioman machine winger, and Xeku. They're pretty cool. They're pretty fun, and I like them. Pretty good examples of Microman. I guess, not a whole lot else to show you guys now. So that will be the end for today. Next week I'll take a look at the next guy in the series, O2. I forget the name at the moment, but, we'll get there. So for the next couple of weeks I will do this. And we'll go through the biomachines, and at the end I will show you the combined mode, and that is pretty impressive. I remember it surprised a friend of mine, because I had bought these and went straight to his place, built the whole thing up, and he wasn't really paying attention. And when he turned around, he was like, wow, that all became that? That's amazing. So I'm really looking forward to showing you the complete set. Well, that's all for this week. I've been Lincoln, and this has been Talking Japanese Plastic. I'll see you guys later.